I spent the first 10 years of my life bouncing around Long Island. I remember small pieces of all four houses: the big white colonial with black shutters, the wooden beach house, the tiny one right on the sound where I get lost among the big rocks that line the shore, and then the house at the end of a long driveway with a window as big as a wall looking out on an inlet for a boat we don't have. My dad was somehow involved with the military for years, but we never talk about that. There's a lot we don't talk about. He managed a car dealership in Hempstead for a while. I went to work with him once and he let me sit in the cars in the showroom. My favorite was a sports car, the Saturn Sky. Remember those? At first, it's just my mom, dad, me, and my big brother, Christian. But every few years, my father carries a new baby brother or sister through the door. There's India, then Holiday, then Hamilton. He puts a finger to his smiling lips. Shh. My mom follows behind him, high on Percocet and ready for a glass of champagne. They love each other as much as they love their children, which is to say, a lot. My dad is huge, 6'5" with olive skin and almost no hair. I look nothing like him. Sometimes I'm afraid of him. He raises me to do whatever he asks and never question why. If I do something he doesn't like, I'll feel it on the back of my head. In August of 2008, the summer before fifth grade, we pack our Saturn Outlook and drive out to Scottsdale, Arizona, where every house has a pool. I used to fall asleep to the sound of lapping water and ferry horns. Now it's howling coyotes and javelinas chewing through cacti. Scottsdale looks like somebody had the idea to put a neighborhood in the middle of a desert, and then they actually did it. My excitement to discover this new part of the world is eclipsed by my petrifying fear that once again I'll be the new kid. But a year later, I have to switch schools again. This time I fall in with the wrong crowd, but at least I have friends. They show me how to pick locks and flip them around. We giggle silently as the other kids lay on their backs to see the numbers right side up to open their lockers. That's the school where I had my first fight. I wonder how I'm gonna hide my black and blue knuckles and bloody lip from my dad. When I get home that day, I hear my parents arguing in their bedroom. I grab a Yoo-hoo in the kitchen and drink it as fast as I can so I can leave. I don't want to hear this. But when I walk into the garage to grab my bike, there are walls of cardboard boxes. Living room, dining room, baby stuff. I've seen this before. At 11 years old, I don't understand that the stock market has collapsed or something and the global economy has somehow been brought to its knees. All I know is that we're moving again, just when I've started to feel like I'm home. I walk back inside and carefully open my parents' bedroom door. Really? We're moving again? My mother looks pale, and my father lifts me up by the collar with one arm and places me out of the room. Later, he says, and slams the door. Like I had only blinked, we're back in the Saturn Outlook again, my dad behind the wheel and my mom crying in the seat next to him. My siblings are staring out the window or burying their heads in books. My baby brother whispers, "Goodbye, house." We move into my grandparents' small condo in Long Island. There are 2 beds, one for my parents, one for Christian and India. Holiday and Hamilton sleep on dog beds for Great Danes. I take the couch. I have surprisingly few clothes, as if my luggage was lost at the airport. My dad warns me not to complain, so I don't. I wake up every day and do the same routine because I don't have a choice. I never have. I'm the new kid again during the last few months of 6th grade, but I managed to make some friends and invite them over after school. One of them says, "I thought this place was for old people with nurses and stuff." His house has a pool, a hot tub, flat screen TV above the fireplace. But my mom stops us at the front door. She pulls me aside with tears in her eyes. They can't see, Jem. I'm sorry. They can't. With 2 months left in 8th grade, we moved to Rhode Island. I'm starting to have enough of this. I get in arguments with teachers when they ask me where my assignments are. You're just going to throw this out at the end of the year anyway. I just want them to let me be and send me along to the next school. Freshman year, Long Island. Sophomore year, Rhode Island. I never asked why before, and I'm not about to start now. It's like some kind of a joke. As soon as I settle in and make friends, it's, oops, sorry, time to start over. Finally, my parents proposed a solution: boarding school in Avon, Connecticut. By now, I've played sports in so many schools that I've gotten good, and I can play varsity basketball and lacrosse. Me and 400 other boys. I love it. I wake up and put on my coat and tie, then it's class, practice, dinner, study hall, lights out. So structured. I'm never distracted, never in my own head. I earn strong grades and the school gives me a scholarship. The faculty asks me to be the next RA in my dorm. And at the end of junior year, I've just turned 18 a few days ago and I'm home in Rhode Island for a long weekend. I'm parked at the beach with my girlfriend when my mom calls. Jem, Dad had a stroke. They were at a restaurant having lunch. They never go out to eat. I'd almost forgotten that the rug never fails to be pulled out when things are getting good. I'm standing over my dad in the ICU, but it doesn't seem real. He's supposed to be invincible, bulletproof, but somehow he looks hurt. His pupils dart around beneath his closed eyelids, like he's looking for a way back home. I snap out of it, like he would tell me to. After 5 days, I go back to school, leaving him, my family, and all the beeping machines behind. I remind myself that he is, in fact, a superhero. If anyone can recover from this, it's him. My teachers are sympathetic. They tell me about their family members who have had strokes. My chemistry teacher's mom has had 3, and she still sends him postcards. But 2 days later, one of the deans is standing in the doorway of my physics class, and I know why he's there, although I want to pretend like I don't. He says, "So, your dad took kind of a turn." He drives me the whole 2 hours back to Providence, just in time to see my father at hospice. I hold his hand as he stops fighting for breath, as his heart stops beating. A chill runs from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, like death is taking a piece of me too. I'm shaking, but I stand up and hug my mom and younger siblings. It's going to be okay. I'm lying. Even though I'm trembling over, I manage to stand up straight and drive us all home. I won't let myself cry until late that night and everyone else is asleep. The next few weeks are different. I can't control my tears or my grief. Right before my dad's funeral, my mom gives me half a Xanax lest I have another panic attack. I'm flooded with a new feeling, relief. My eyelids lower slightly. My shoulders drop from my ears. This is what I've been trying to feel for as long as I can remember. I come to learn that pills can swallow me whole and take me to a place that is so quiet I can hear my own heart beating to the rhythm of "So What" by Miles Davis. I spend the summer staring into the dark, my lips chapped from all the lies I tell. My mom, my brothers, my sisters all watch whoever I used to be fade away like a photograph. I remember my first night here at Bard in 2017. During one of the most abhorrent moments of orientation, the icebreaker, we're all asked to answer the question, "Where are you from?" When it's my turn, I say nowhere. The RA laughs and says, well, where were you born then? That's easier, New York. But really, nowhere is home. Freshman year, I take too many pills. The last thing I remember is trying to write and draw and falling into my bed at around noon. Security wakes me up and there's puke all over my blanket. Right before junior year, I'm having surgery on my shoulder and the nurse gives me liquid Ativan to calm me down. After the surgery, they give me more. Then they send me home with oxycodone for pain. I take one and then another and then another, and then I have some beers. It's my little sister, Holiday, who hears me fall to the floor. I slowly begin to realize that I'm not the only one being hurt by these kinds of decisions. The last thing my family would want to see is one of us hooked up to machines again. It's been 3 years since my father died. We now live in a quiet house with enough bedrooms for all of us. It's by the ocean where my dad was learning to surf. And although I still struggle sometimes, one thing I do know is that I'm a good son and a good brother. Hamilton would say I make him the best chicken nuggets and mac and cheese. We'd also say he's better than me at video games, and because I'm a good brother, I'll let him believe that for a little while longer. Holiday is growing up too fast for me. She's as athletic as I am. It makes me laugh without even trying. I look up to India. She wants to be the next Attorney General of Rhode Island, and I think she can do it. Christian brings home fresh tuna he caught that day. We cook it up along with the vegetables from the garden we built together. It does not matter where our house may be. It does not matter if there's room for us all or if we decide to pick up and move tomorrow. Home is where my family is.